November 8, Sierra, Bravo 2nd, N8SBE.
Roger, SBE, and the name, please?
Roger, SBE, and the name, please?
Delta, Alpha, Victor, Echo.
I'm copying Dave, is that correct?
I'm copying Dave, is that correct?
Roger, roger.
Roger, Dave, and what's the location?
Roger, Dave, and what's the location?
We're in Ann Arbor, Michigan. That's southeast Michigan, about 45 miles west of Detroit. Go ahead.
Roger, roger. And Dave, what radio are you running today, sir?
Dave, what radio are you running today, sir?
I'm running an Elecraft K-4D as a Delta, and I have a KP8500 amplifier hooked to it.
Oh, roger, roger. Okay, let's see if I can get a better copy on you. Why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system, and I'll look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger?
Find a better path for us, Roger?
Roger, roger, roger. This is N8SBE. The antenna system that is in an KW dipole, but it's in an inverted D configuration. And actually, since we lost a large tree in our front yard, it's no longer even in a straight line. The two legs are pointing southwest and southeast. So it kind of tends to favor the south, I think. And the apex is up only about 35 feet, so probably a relatively high angle of radiation. Go ahead.
Roger that. Well, I got you pretty good on the Kentucky, my Kentucky SDR. I've got you probably about 10 over on the Kentucky SDR. And about your radio, the first thing would be to make sure that if that radio is capable of 100 to 2900 on the transmit bandwidth, we should try to make sure that it's in that bandwidth. Roger?
To make sure that it's in that bandwidth, Roger?
Yeah, roger, roger. It is set right now to a bandwidth of 2.8 kilohertz, and if I look at the high and the low settings, it's the let's see. The high is at 2.9, and the low is at 100. Yeah, all right. The low is at 100, and the high is at 2.9 right now. Go ahead.
Oh, excellent, excellent. That will let your transmitter operate at its best capabilities, and then give you just a slice of daylight before you wind up into somebody else's conversation. So that's why we suggest that bandwidth 100 to 2900. So once past that, then we're looking for the compressor processor on, and at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, you would just want a third of that compression on. Roger?
That compression on. Roger?
Actually, this transmitter has compressed enhanced single sideband, and so I have it set to 30, which is cranked all the way up 100%, and that is what is recommended by Elecraft.
Oh, Roger. Well, the main thing is we don't want it sucking up between words. That does not do anybody any good when you have a bunch of suck up between words. And what we're looking for is, something that's working directly on the word. I often say that a 3 is the same thing as a 6 without the suck up, as far as something actually working on the word. So why don't you do this for me? Why don't you key up for about 4 seconds? Don't say anything, just key up for about 4 seconds, and I'll take a look and see how it's expanding. Roger?
Look and see how it's expanding. Roger?
Roger, roger. Here's the silence. Over.
Yes, sir. I didn't see it expanding very much, so that's great. That's a nice check, just to, and you can do that same check if you have an output meter, watt meter, power meter, whatever. Just do a dead key and see what kind of signal comes up on a dead key. It should not be very much. Some of them, if they're running a bunch of compression, it'll suck that RF signal on up there to about 100%, which is definitely what we want. But like I say, you can make a test yourself and just dead key it and see where it goes, and then turn your compressor down or whatever to you try to keep it down there about maybe maximum would be somewhere around 10% of that signal, not very much, not very high. Okay, so once we get all that worked out, then we move to the ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the secret word, audio, you become a human test generator and adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 7 or 2/3, 7 or 2/3, depending on which one comes first.
7 or 2/3, depending on which one comes first.
All right, this is November 8th, Sierra Bravo Echo, audio, and I do believe that this microphone is not as sensitive as the Heil that I was using, so I think I need to turn the audio gain up a little bit. It's only kicking up about 1/3.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's the thing. Anytime that you change your microphone, be sure and go to your ALC and do that test, audio, and adjust your mic to where, you're running 2/3, and that will take care of it, because there's, no two microphones are the same as far as output levels necessarily, and so you want to be sure that you're running at maximum capability when you switch mics. So go ahead and do your test again and make that mic run at 2/3 on your ALC meter.
At 2/3 on your ALC meter.
All right, this is N8SBE testing. Audio. Okay, I just turned the mic gain up from 20 to 25, and I think that put it in about the right position. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. It's looking good. Now let's go to your equalization. Do you know how to get to your equalization page?
Do you know how to get to your equalization page?
Yep, I have it up here. This is an 8-band equalizer in octaves. It goes 100, 200, 400, 800, 1200, 1600, 2400, 3200. And I actually have it set the way we did for the HT4, which I think is going to have to be changed. People have told me that this mic sounds a good deal more bassy. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So the first thing would be then, let's work on that high treble frequency. The ideal treble boost frequency is 2.7 kilohertz. So unfortunately, you do not have that specific frequency to boost, but we can do something around that 32 and that 24 or whatever it is. About what's your frequency just above 2.7?
2.7.
Yeah, I do have a 2400 and a 3200, and they're currently set at +4 for the 2400 and +2 for the 3200, and that's what I was using with the HT4, which has a rising element in that HT4. So this new headset is a KOS SB40, and I don't believe it has as high treble in it as the Heil mic did. Go ahead.
Roger. So let's add 3 clicks additional EQ push on that 3.2, I guess, if I remember correctly. An additional 3 clicks boost on the 3.2, and maybe a 2 boost on the 2.4. A 2 boost on the 2.4. Roger?
4. A 2 boost on the 2.4. Roger?
Okay, roger, roger. That's what I've done. And now the 2.4 is at +6, and the 3200 is at +5. This is N8SBE. Audio.
Roger, roger. Now, what we want also is everything in the flat or off position from 400 cycles to 1.4. Everything in the flat position or off on that equalizer from 400 to 1.4. Roger.
To 1.4. Roger.
Roger, roger. Right now, everything is flat from 200 to 1.6. And so I get the notion that we're going to be headed towards knocking that 200 down. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and knock that 200 minus 4. 4 clicks roll off on the 200. Roger, roger.
Off on the 200. Roger, roger.
Okay, we're at -4 on 200. And by the way, I have 100 on here as well. This is already set to -16, as low as it can go. Go ahead.
Roger, and do you have anything lower than 100? Do you have something around 50 cycles?
Lower than 100? Do you have something around 50 cycles?
No, you know, the Elecraft K3S has a 50 hertz on it, but in the K4D, it has a sharp roll-off below 100 hertz. As a matter of fact, I don't think you can change that. You can make it higher. You can make it a 200 hertz roll-off, but by default, this transmitter rolls off very heavily at 100 hertz. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Roger. Well, I think we're in pretty good shape. I was just thinking of anything else that we need to do. It sounds pretty good. That roll-off on the lower frequency really keeps the mud down quite a bit. So I think you'll agree that this is the best setting for it when you get a chance to listen to it. Of course, we are recording, and we'll be laying this up to YouTube by noon tomorrow. And if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3200 Qso-Vlog air check recordings. And again, I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Check recordings. And again, I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger, roger. Thank you very much, Jim. I really appreciate this. I had tried watching myself on some SDR waterfalls, remote SDR waterfalls, but it seems that a number of them have a I think 100 hertz that I couldn't seem to get rid of the feature of the TV SDRs. So I really appreciate you taking a look at this and helping me out. I will be running an 80-meter net on Sunday evening, and I've got a number of folks on there that will very critically tell me whether or not I've got this set up the way they think it should sound, because they have been listening to me for many years on the HC4 headset. Go ahead.
Roger that, roger that. Well, it'd be interesting to hear the feedback. Always interesting to hear feedback, and I also have a realization that most SDRs are rolling out at about 200 cycles, so you don't really get the absolute best picture on the SDR. You get relatively close, but you're not hearing exactly the lower end that there is. That's why I usually hope that I can get somebody on my 7300, which is good down to 100 cycles. And my monitor system has a subwoofer, so I'm good down to about 40 cycles on my monitor system, Roger.
Down to about 40 cycles on my monitor system, Roger.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I've seen your, like I said, 2 years ago, you helped me with my K3S with my HC4 headset, and it really worked out very well. I really appreciate that, and I have watched that YouTube video, and I have also watched a more recent one that you sent out last week by going to your logbook and playing the most recent one there as well. And I was watching very carefully that audio spectrum that you have up there on the wall. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's very interesting. You know, and I've often wondered, and I'm thinking that, you know, if I were to listen to a signal that there is no signal, just IF noise, you know, incoming signal without actually a station being there, then I should have theoretically that spectrum analyzer should be fairly flat across the band, because that would be, you know, linearity as far as you know, the audio spectrum in that slice of life. I haven't proved that exactly, and I'm sure there should be, or probably would be some variances. But you know, theoretically, if you were to just listen with a spectrum analyzer to a slice of life without nothing being there, and consider everything else being flat, that you know, spectrum analyzer should be flat on that piece of audio, that piece of RF that you're listening to, Roger.
That piece of RF that you're listening to, Roger.
Yes, for sure, Jim. And I understand that. As a matter of fact, I was just thinking an interesting thing to do would be to find someone who's like transmitting VARA HF at the wide bandwidth, which runs about 2.7 kilohertz, because those signals in that entire bandwidth should be all of equal amplitude. And in those cases, too, the transmitters are usually at a data mode where the equalizers and compression and everything is turned off. So you should see a very flat output. It would be interesting to see that on an SDR, like one of these TV SDRs, to see if they're actually giving us a flat output. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I know for sure that the SDRs are not flat. They are rolled off on the bottom side at about 200 cycles, and I've noticed that for sure. Up against the, you know, I've got a rotary position, 6-position rotary switch that I've got 5 internet receivers on the 5 positions on the 6th position, and then I've got the 6th position, which is my 7300 audio. And I can take a signal if I've got a fairly decent signal on all 5 SDRs of the same, you know, like maybe somebody's running a KW, and they're fairly well occupying the frequency and doing well in all my different locations. I can hear a definite difference when I hit to my local antenna, because my 7300 is much stronger on the bottom end, much fuller on the bottom end. So I can tell that these most of these SDRs are rolling off on the bottom side. Roger?
Most of these SDRs are rolling off on the bottom side. Roger?
Yeah, what I was seeing, though, was looks like they have a peak in the lower mid-range, around about 300 or 400 hertz. And I see that on my signal. I've seen that on your signal here. I was watching you on a Virginia or Pennsylvania SDR that I have up at the moment, and I was seeing the same thing on both yours and my signal. But when I watch your signal on my K4D waterfall here, I don't see that. I don't see that peak like that. Instead, it looks very nice. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, trust your local your local setup over the SDR as far as the lower frequencies are concerned. Roger.
The SDR as far as the lower frequencies are concerned. Roger.
Roger. I can see that for sure, because I use this radio very consistently for wideband VARA HF and other digital modes, and have no problems with it. It's very flat. The receiver is quite flat. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I love the thing about my 7300. It would be the receive frequency response. I'm not running any kind of noise reduction. I'm trying to get a very true picture of everybody's signal, so I don't run any noise reduction. I don't run, any what is that, peak pulse attenuation, noise filtering that way, and I'm running a very, very low RF front end, so it's very far from any kind of overload or front end compression, so it doesn't suck up at all between the words by and large. It's just a pleasure when I can copy somebody on my 7300. Roger, roger.
Pleasure when I can copy somebody on my 7300. Roger, roger.
Oh, yeah. 7300 is a very nice transceiver. We, unfortunately, we're not able to use them in field day because the front ends are very easily overloaded by nearby signals. And so we have been running an all-aircraft field day these many years with K3s and now some K4s as well. And they're essentially bulletproof front ends. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, everybody, you know, I'm not, like I say, I've got my RF turned way down in the front end, so, you know, it's not even showing up as any kind of a residual signal until, you know, a signal comes in, and then it starts to show activity there. But anyway, so that's the way we've run this one, and it works out just fine. So I think we got it there, Dave, and you know, hopefully you'll be able to check it out and maybe get back with me next Friday and let me know what you think.
Maybe get back with me next Friday and let me know what you think.
All right, well, great. Thank you very much, Jim. And I will certainly listen to the YouTube video when it comes out, and I should be able to compare that against the one that was recorded a couple of years ago, and we'll see how different that sounds, or how close it sounds, one way or the other. I had this headset recommended to me by another K4 user, and so based on that, I ordered it. And it's a good deal less expensive than a Heil headset, but I really don't know how well it's going to hold up. The Heil headset is about 12 years old, and the mic wiring in it started to go bad. I've also been told, though, that I can send the headset off to Heil, and for about $40 they will repair it for me, and so I may still do that, so that I'll end up with a spare headset here. Go ahead.
Roger, roger. So you are running that headset right now?
Roger, roger. So you are running that headset right now?
I'm running the KOS headset, the new headset, the SB40.
Yes, sir. So what we want to be sure and do is make sure that mic is straight out in front of you as far as you can go, and then at the last minute make your 90-degree turn. We want it out in front of you as far as you can go, and then like I say, at the last minute make your 90. Roger.
Like I said, at the last minute make your 90. Roger.
Roger. And I do tend to put it just a little bit below my mouth, so that I'm not, I'm not talking directly into it. Now, the KOS did not come with a pop filter, so I took the pop filter from my Heil and put it on this mic. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Excellent. It's just amazing how those foam windscreens work as far as dispersing transient mouth noises and plosives and stuff. It's just that's one of the greatest filters in the world as far as getting rid of junk and just leaving the words. Roger?
In the world, as far as getting rid of junk and just leaving the words. Roger?
Oh, yeah, I'm a great believer in those. The one on the Heil that I had on there for so many years have finally worn out. I ended up having to buy replacements, but I'm a great believer in those pop filters. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've run this one. I, probably should change it, but I've been running this one for, I guess, about 5 years. Might be a little crusty. I don't know, but it still is doing an okay job. So, I'll probably put a red one on next time, Roger.
I'll probably put a red one on next time, Roger.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just a basic black guy. I guess whenever I order up something like this, it never occurs to me to order up any other color than black.
Yes, sir. Well, I got, I keep, my Elmer, I keep telling him, I'm going to get him that foam windscreen and in his color choice, and haven't made contact to be able to do that. But yeah, they're just great. And I was going to mention, what was that? I forget right now, but it had something to do with when you're watching your signal on your meter, feels your spectrum analyzer, that you can see that display. And I was also thinking about, there's a difference in tonality when you say the word audio. The O is a lower frequency. And I was theorizing, if you were to set EQ by a word, you could compare the audio level between the and the O as far as a direction of possibility as far as what the curve may be, one being hotter than the other, and then EQing up a little bit just to make them the same. That's all theory, though. I haven't really had a chance to pursue that much.
All theory, though. I haven't really had a chance to pursue that much.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. I'll certainly spend a little bit of time playing with it here, but at the moment, at least the changes that we've made here, I think it will probably do me okay, and we'll kind of go from there. Anyway, Jim, I should let you go so you can essentially help out other people this afternoon on the band. But again, thank you so much for doing this. It's a great public service, frankly. KC9VKV, N8SBE.
Roger, Dave. Good enough, sir. Thank you very much for dropping by, and you have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. 73, sir. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.